I think what we're attempting to do here is create high design and good architecture, but architecture that serves the client and their needs is foremost before my needs as an egotistical designer. I really enjoy the process of working with people to realize their dreams, not utilize the people as a means to get my dreams realized. Somebody once said that architecture happens because of client, not in spite of client, and that's something that I try to keep in mind as I do any project. A project as utilitarian as a warehouse addition to a project such as yours, which obviously has some more demanding architectural ideology to it.
And what's the name of your firm?
Dadoworks.
Dadoworks.
Yeah, it was established as the desire to be a collective or to have groups of people that can come in and loosely affiliate with one another. Dado, as you probably know, has some other meanings as well, and in this case it's an acronym for design, architecture, development, and then other. And other can be anything that comes our way, whether that be furniture or graphic design or any of those things that don't neatly fall under the umbrella of architecture.
So today let's talk a little bit about the challenge that I brought to you about 6 months ago.
Well, it's an ideal challenge and a dream challenge, really, to provide an addition to a early 1920s bungalow, 2-story, or 1.5-story, really. But the problems presented had to do with two things that are of great interest to me, and that's doing a modern design, that sort of an approach to a historic building, and then the second thing being the environmentally friendly responses that became a huge part of what drove this design.
So talk a little bit about, it is a 1920s home. So, but what was I trying to do, or what did we come to you with that made it, not just a regular gut rehab?
Well, one of the other things that I think posed a challenge was the existing clay tile roof, and because that's a hard thing to deal with. Your biggest thing, I took from it, was to have the environmentally friendly issues. It does, this roof element will come up and be somewhat visible from the street, but in reality the front of the house remains virtually unchanged. We've done a number of things on this elevation that's probably better documented with this elevation drawing, where you can see we've extended the horizontal lines of the existing masonry or brick and utilized a rain screen with cement fiberboard to carry those horizontal lines onto this elevation. And I think then as you turn and come to, I hesitate to call it the back, let's call it the alley side of the house, I think the alley then grows its own expression based upon the fact that it is an alley out here and it's a street up front, and oftentimes, and this goes back to some of my studies on alleys, is that there's a different identity that's created in alleys all the time. A front yard could be the most meticulously kept lawn in the city, and you might find that on the back side of that, if you drove through the alley, that there'd be this dichotomy. So it really didn't bother me at all to not use the same materials to try and express it as an addition, because you always get into those issues when you do an addition to a building. Does it have to exactly match what was there? And oftentimes it can't, and oftentimes you want to be true to the time in which you're building as well. So changing to materials, changing to other forms that are maybe more suited for today's time, to me seemed an appropriate way. Some people would argue that it doesn't have much to do with the existing house, but in fact the major roof form came as a derivative of the piece that we took off, which was a dormer similar to this, and really in essence we've just lifted the dormer and extended it. So it's a couple of simple moves that really drive the whole project.
Awesome. Well, we look forward to maybe getting our next video clip as progress and the construction begins.
I'm anxious to see it go up too.
Cool. Thanks, Paul.
Thanks, Todd.